Welcome back, my friends, to the Moto Guzzi show that doesn't seem to want to end. Okay, we're going to talk about brakes today and our ways of improving the brakes on the 1974 Eldorado with a single disc, which has been criticised by other people as being a poor brake with a wooden feel. Now, I haven't ridden this bike. It was bought by me as a non-runner and I didn't want to use it until I fixed everything up. Okay, so thinking about brakes, what to do, because the consensus of opinion seems to be to add a second disc. Now that can be expensive because you've got another disc to buy, and they're not easy to find for those. You've got another caliper to buy, you've got extra hoses to put on. Okay. And you have to make a spacer up for the spindle and various other things. It's quite a complicated job. Is it really necessary? Well, I don't know. So let's think about it for a moment. Now, another bike that has a reputation for having a very poor brake from the early 70s is the Norton Commando. And I can attest to the fact that the Commando brake is pathetic. It is wooden and hardly stops you at all. And sadly, this was deliberate by Norton Billiards Triumph, I think they were called at the time. They decided that the British motorcyclist shouldn't have a good brake because he wouldn't know what to do with it. He'd get himself into trouble if he had good brakes because, British motorcyclists are used to having shitty drum brakes. And anyways, the only reason we're giving you one is because the Honda's got one and we don't want to lose sales to the Honda. Anyway. Rant over. So anyway, the Norton's got a bad brake. But there is a recognised way of improving that brake, and that is to add a 1/2-inch master cylinder in place of the 5/8. And that's what I was going to do on my Commando, and I've got this 1/2-inch master cylinder here. Okay, now I remember seeing on the internet a few years ago a chart with optimal sizes of master cylinder to caliper size and where to aim for. Now this comes from a company called Vintage Brake, who are out of California. I have no connection with this company and I've never used them, but I have no reason to believe that they provide anything but excellent products for vintage races, etc. So check them out if you want to, but then again, I'm not sponsored anyway. This is where I got the info from. There is a description with it, but to cut a long story short, they give the optimal ratios for a single caliper at 12.1 to 14.1. And twin calipers almost double that. Right. Okay, so we're looking at master cylinder diameters, brake caliper cylinder diameters, and how they affect the feel of the brake. Now, we know the Norton's bad, so let's look at the Norton and where it fits onto this chart. Now, the Norton in its standard form has a 5/8 master cylinder and an 1.75-inch caliper. Now, if we do the math, we come out with a ratio of 7.81 to 1, which was below R7. And incidentally, this is the math. This is how to do it. We have the area of a circle, which every schoolboy knows, of course, is pi r squared. You did know that, didn't you? I did. Anyway, so the diameter of our master cylinder is 1/2 inch at 12.7 mil. So the radius is half of that. Now, if we go pi, which everybody knows is 3.14, but I can't remember. Anyway, pi times that, which gives us the area of the master cylinder piston is 126.68 square millimeters. If we do that for the caliper piston diameter, in this case it's a Moto Guzzi one. I apologize. I was going to do the Norton, but this is what turned out. Anyway, so if we do the diameter, half of that is the radius, pi r squared, we get that. So to get our ratio, we divide this by that. So we divide the 1000 134 blah 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 by 126 blah blah blah, and we get 8.95. So 8.95 to 1 is our ratio. Okay. Now then, where was I? No, too much paper here, see? Okay, so we did that for the Norton and we got 7.81 to 1, which is poor. It's poor, it's below 12. So if we use a different master cylinder, we go to the 1/2 inch, using the same caliper, we get a ratio of 12.25 to 1, which is bang on. That's in our sweet spot. Perfect. So, okay, so we know the Norton's bad, we know the cure for it, and we know that's good. Excellent. Where does the Guzzi stand? Well, in standard form, the Guzzi is 15mm master cylinder, and with the F08 caliper, the standard fitment, which is 38mm, we get our ratio of 6.42 to 1. Again, very poor compared to the 12 to 1 that we're looking for. Okay, so that is with my 15mm. So if I went to my half inch, so 1/2 inch is 12.7 with the same 38mm piston, we get a ratio of 8.95 to 1. So that's not very good, is it? We're still not in 12, so just changing to my smaller master cylinder is not going to help a great deal, is it? Okay, so then if we double up the brakes like they say, and we stay with a standard 15mm master cylinder, the same 38mm calipers, but 2 of them, we get to 12.84. So 12.84 is again right bang in the sweet spot. So the advice to fit a second disc is good advice. And if we use the 1/2 inch master cylinder, it comes up at 17.9, which is in excess of the 14. So that brake may be oversensitive. So yeah, fitting 2 discs is good. We get right there. But we have an alternative. We have the F09 caliper, which is the rear caliper for the 1000 SP, and is available. Not the original Brembo, but a copy of the Brembo. So let's look at that. If we put that on, I have heard people suggest that you use that instead of the F08. If we use a standard 15mm master cylinder, that's that one. If we use that one and our 48mm F09, because they're bigger than the 38, we get a ratio of 10.24 to 1. So that's a lot better. Is it 12? No, it's not 12. All right. So bearing in mind that I've got this 1/2 inch, let's use that. Let's use the 1/2 inch with an F09. So 1/2 inch, F09 at 48, we get a ratio of 14.28 to 1, which is very slightly in excess of that. So I think we have a solution. I think we have a result. If we use this master cylinder with a purchased F09, which aren't that too, I think about 175 US dollars, which is not bad really. I think that's going to be cheaper than putting 2 F08s on. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try it, bearing in mind that my original disc is very good. And we will take it from there. So, oh, if you're wondering what this is, it's one I had in store. I don't know what I bought it for. I remembered I had it. Look at it. It's almost identical to the Brembo. And it's a copy of some kind. I thought, well, I'll use that. And then I looked at the bottom and it says 5/8, which is bigger than that. So, yeah, it's not going to work, is it? So anyway, there we are. Look, we're going to go with this. We're going to get an F09 caliper, and we're going to try a single disc setup with a braided brake line. braided stainless steel brake line. So until then, take care of yourselves, look after one another, look after your Guzzi dog and your Guzzi cat, etc., etc. And I will talk to you next time, and have fun on the road. Goodbye.